Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever Tubi Tuesday episode of Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got my co-host,
Anna Xaden.
hey Anna. So we're
Hello.
here to talk about Murdercise as our first episode.
You've seen a dead body before?
It appears the killer has struck again, this time attacking a woman in her own home.
We are going to make a fortune at this video.
Gino, how am I supposed to work like this? All those girls out there are perverts, strippers, and communists.
I'm an actress, okay? That's why I'm on the cover.
Nikki, what are you doing? You can't eat fast food. That's gonna make you slow and heavy.
I'll burn it off. I'm a stripper.
Hey, I'll make a deal with you. If you keep the camera on me at all times, I'll go out with you.
Okay, ladies, let's put our hair up. Looks like we have a competition.
At least when my family wants to whack somebody, it's just business.
Just business.
Murder isn't supposed to be fun. Sometimes it's necessary.
I paid a lot of money for this video.
But there's a killer running around.
Horror movies make me horny.
And
Nice.
I'm really excited because, I've been wanting to see this movie ever since I saw a bunch of other movies done by the people who made this, Paul and Angie. They are Paul Ragsdale is amazing, and Angie I talked to on my show, so she's so sweet, and so both of them
Nice.
this film, and they wanted to, a lot of people want me to get the word out about their films, and just decided that this would be the place to do it. We would do 20-minute episodes where we just chatted about the movie a little bit. Let's try not to give any too spoilers, because we the movie on Tubi, but we also want them to want to see the movie on Tubi.
Yes.
So first off, basically, what did you think of the movie? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. It was so much fun. It was like the music was good. The actors and actresses, they were top-notch good. The storyline was fun. So it was a good movie.
It was funny,
Gore.
right?
Yes,
It
it
wasn't.
really was.
I mean, it's a slasher with comedy. It's a comedy slasher, which
Yeah.
and it's I'm not gonna, once again, we're not spoiling anything, but we're just gonna tell you it's not your typical slasher.
No.
Uh, one of my favorite characters in the movie obviously was Kansas Bowling, who plays the main girl, and she's just I've loved her. I interviewed her once a long time ago with her and a bunch of people because they made a movie called BC Butcher.
I never saw that.
Yeah, and had Kato Kalin in it.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, I
Yeah.
forgot about
Right. I mean, but she had done this movie BC Butcher, and so I followed her on that. And it was this big trauma releasing thing when I heard she was in this movie Murdercise. I was excited beyond, And then there's Jessa Flux, who I mean, I can't say too much because, it'll spoil things. But I really
Yeah.
enjoyed her.
Yeah, we'll just say she was really hilarious.
She was funny.
She went above and beyond.
I know.
That was
Well,
awesome.
I think a lot of this movie contained a lot of overacting on purpose,
Yeah.
everything was to the highest degree it can be for some
Yeah.
characters. And her character was definitely like, let's take that above and beyond. Who was your favorite character?
Oh man. Okay, it's like I liked all of them pretty much and for different things. Like Kansas Bowling, I can't say much about her because we don't want to spoil it, but she was out there with it. It was awesome.
She had fun.
Jessa Flux was the
Yeah.
hilarious one.
Yeah,
I
Jessa was
forgot her name,
fun.
the one who played Isabella.
I'll bring it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Isabella was I'm really bad at names, so just bear with me.
Okay.
Isabella was played by Nina Lenny Kent, and if I said that wrong, I'm sorry. But
So
yeah.
she seems like her character is somebody that I would hang out with.
Okay, so at first you're just like, when you first see her, you're like, I don't know how the skirt chick's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then she kind of seems like the tough girl at first, and she's tough, but she's not like, she's got like a little bit of a laid back personality, which made that fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I
And
enjoyed her.
Adriana, she did a great job.
Yeah.
There was one part, I don't know how she made it through it, but I was like, okay, I would run screaming if that happened.
Yeah, she was like most of the time also very tough and stuff,
Yes.
and kind of sticking up for herself and sticking up for the crew and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm trying not to spoil anything
I
because
know
I
it's so
want
hard.
people to see it. Like I really
Yeah.
do. I want people to see this movie and not go in there. It's gonna be tough with all these things because
Oh
there's
yeah.
so much because I'm so used to spoiling every single one of my movies
Yeah.
that I review. And so now it's like I have to actually contain myself and be careful what I say. And
Yeah.
with that, I mean, what else I mean, because literally anything Drew Marvick.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
you
that's who
can't
I was about to say. He did great.
um so somebody posted on my comment on my page when I was promoting Murdercise, and they were like, a chainsaw, really? And I'm like, when you see the chainsaw bit,
Yeah.
it's not what you expect or
No,
anything. Yeah. So it
not at
like
all.
that's all I'm gonna say. But I told that person that like it's not, don't think, oh, because you see a chainsaw in a poster that this is like ripping off Texas Chainsaw or something like that. This is pure in itself, its own movie, and that's kind of
Yes.
how I view it. Because, it's basically the idea is these girls work at an aerobics place, or not aerobics place, but they're doing aerobics video. They're making an
Yeah.
aerobics video. And there's as they're shooting it, murders are happening and people are cleaning it up. So people are just disappearing and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, who's committing the murders? You find out pretty quickly, but you wait till you watch it because that becomes its own like little twist. And
Oh yeah.
then there's other twists and other twists. And you kind of it does not go the typical usual, horror film route, like slasher route.
Yeah.
This isn't something you've seen 80 billion times. And I'm glad, we
Yeah.
need more movies like this where it's just fun, it's silly, it's not it does not take itself seriously at all, you know.
Yeah.
And the writing, like you said before, was great.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of comedy in it. And comedy is hard,
Yeah.
to make you and me laugh. We're completely different people. We laugh
Yeah.
at different stuff,
Yeah.
and everything. So to universally make people laugh, it's hard,
Yeah, definitely.
and so when you have like something like this, so there's gonna be some people who probably don't like it, especially the fact that it does look like it's the 80s,
Yeah.
I mean, you would have probably thought, if you didn't know all these people and knew their ages and everything, you would have probably thought it was a movie made in the 80s,
Definitely. Yeah.
And it definitely has.
Especially with the music that was playing throughout it. It's like that
Right.
was from back then too. Just the
It-
style of it. So yeah, it was definitely pure 80s.
It's pure
Even
80s.
the outfits they wore, that was totally in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of moved on to the 90s at that point too, but yeah, in the 80s,
Well, yeah, early
everywhere you
90s.
went that you saw a gem, girls were dressed like this.
Well, it's funny because, every decade sort of has its, thing, like its trends and everything. And like,
Yeah,
the 70s had bell bottoms and
yeah,
all that stuff. But then early 80s had bell bottoms and stuff because they weren't done with the 70s yet. And it wasn't
yeah.
until they like changed the trends and the styles and everything. The problem right now is I don't think there is any trends now, you know?
No, they're just kind of throwing all of them together at the same time.
It's like
Like, what are you
nobody,
doing?
I mean, the trends right now are like TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Whatever, like whatever the trends are on TikTok or whatever, that kind of thing. But like there are no like styles for clothes or anymore, really. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't really, I don't, we had people had these specific looks. You look at that right there on that picture I have behind me. That looks absolutely 80s, like no
Yes.
doubt, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, so absolutely I loved it. They did a great job. I didn't notice anything continuity wise, I didn't notice like
Yeah.
a car that was made from the, and there might have been, but I didn't notice it, that was after the 80s, kind of car. Would have been
Yeah.
cool. Like I don't I don't know what year it came out. Well, it came out in 84, so maybe it would have been okay. Would have been cool if they had like Isabella pull up in a DeLorean. She like the
Oh,
DeLorean
yeah.
door just pops open
Yeah.
and she just walks out. But
Yep.
I mean, finding somebody to rent you a DeLorean these days is probably
Yeah. True.
yeah, you have to actually rent that out because they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
Um, though
And
a
they
guy
probably
in
charge a
my
hefty fee.
I think a guy in my neighborhood had one or something. I don't know. At one
Really?
point. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. But anyway, the point is like it's very difficult, you know.
Yeah.
Do you like the kills in the movie?
Love the kills.
So the special effects were pretty good for you.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Once again, we can't say
Especially the
anything.
last one.
The
I'll
last
just give
one
that hint. The
and
last one, they did a great job with the gore.
yeah, yeah, and then we forgot to mention kind of there's a couple names. August Kiss is in the movie, but she's like the first
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
so she's the opening I guess I can say that because that's like literally the opening and you kind of know what's
Yeah.
coming from that. But she's like the opening kill in the movie.
Yeah.
She does a great job, like, but
Yeah.
it's your typical, 80s style kill. And so I think that might and if you watch this, if you never seen Murdercise yet, and you're watching the first 5 minutes and it sort of feels like been there, done that, keep watching
Uh-huh.
because it
Yeah,
gets
definitely. Because you're gonna be like, all right, I know it's gonna happen. Then what?
yep.
Wasn't expecting that.
It goes a different route because they try to keep you on your toes throughout it. And they've done this with Slasherette Party, another one they did, like where I just
Uh-huh.
didn't know where it was gonna go, just went off on different directions. And to me, that's fun.
Yeah.
I think the more that they do as a team, I mean, I've seen every one of their films so far, and this one is my favorite so far. But
Yeah.
if you'd asked me before I watched this, Slasherette would have been my favorite. Slasher Party would have been my favorite at that
Nice.
time. So it would have, it seems like each time I see a new one, I'm like, okay, this is they're getting better and better as they go. And so I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed that. So all in all, I think like this was a really fun movie. I think if you are a fan of slasher films, if you're a fan of 80s, especially cheesy kind of stuff. And we're going to
Yeah.
talk about another movie for next week that is also like 80s style,
Yeah.
somewhat shot in the 80s, supposedly, whatever stuff. So I like that. Like, give me a good, like, because that's hard a lot of times, is pulling off, you know, going back in time, you know?
Yeah, because you've got to like make sure everything is just right. Because even one little thing, somebody from the 80s is going to notice.
Or somebody, period. Like, there are people like
Yeah.
my buddy Paul from the Indie Film Cafe. He he nitpicks everything like that. Like, he sees something in the background, and if he saw something in the background that wasn't from the 80s, he will point that out to me, and I'm like, oh God, okay. Like, if we were watching that or whatever. And I
Yeah.
don't think he could have done that with this movie. I think they were
Yeah.
very meticulous, and they were very careful that everything had to feel like it was from the 80s, or different time, that could have been, brought over, from
Yeah.
the 80s. So I don't know, it felt real. And I enjoyed it. I don't want to say any too much more, because I'm afraid, like, we are approaching on, like, areas where we're gonna accidentally spoil something, because
Yeah.
but once again, August Kiss was great. Freaking Crystal Shea was great. Um,
Yeah.
God, everybody. We had
Ginger
the
Lynn.
what?
Ginger.
Ginger Lynn. Oh, we forgot to mention
Yes.
her. I thought
Yes,
she
I
was gonna
love
have
her.
this teeny tiny part. She had a pretty big part.
Yeah.
I,
She
I
did great. I love
she's
her.
she's been in a few of the movies that they've done. So
Nice.
I think she was in Slasher at Party, playing like a therapist, so she had like other parts that she had done with them, and I
Yeah.
could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But yeah, so it was fun.
Yeah.
It was an enjoyable movie, and I really do recommend everybody. Now, when we do these Tubi Tuesdays, we're not here to, like, badmouth or bash anything. It's
Yeah.
all going to be positive. It's all going to tell you to go check these out, whether or not we love it or not, because there are going to be some movies probably that we're just not into,
Yeah.
or whatever. But we're going to let you know we're gonna enjoy it. Now, if we really, really do enjoy it, we'll let you know,
Oh yeah.
and if we, but we'll also point out things that we really loved.
Yeah.
And so, please keep checking back. We're gonna try to just, it's gonna be a weekly video cast, every Tuesday, and Tuesday is starting on the first Tuesday of October. So today, then on, it's gonna be out. So there you go. Join us next week, where we're gonna be talking about craving,
Yes.
So until then, everybody, bye.
Bye bye.